Hey up. So here we go again. My stylo is ready to strip, I can tell. Don't know whether you can see that. The polyps, some are not extending. I woke up this morning, I could tell. When you first turn your lights on, if you've got stylo, the polyps are really extended, really puffy, and they were looking like this. Now this happened about 4 weeks ago, if you've been watching, and I thought I was using a heavy metal polymer extractor, and I thought it was stripping metals for 5 days, and that's what maybe caused the stripping. Anyway, what I did do yesterday was I've got green star polyps on the back here, and they're sort of stinging this digi. So I scraped them off, and funnily enough, I did the same thing 4 weeks ago. I didn't scrape that much off, you know, an inch squared or something like that, a couple of inch squares. But obviously it sort of disintegrates into the water, and I've read on the forums and nobody particularly says that it causes any problems, but it's the only coral that's affected. Not particularly done anything else differently. This colony's all right. It's just these colonies over on the left hand side which seem to be. But I know that if I leave it, actually I can tell over here as well, you can see how some polyps are not extending, they're sort of retracted. And this is a Porites. I really love this coral. I recommend anybody getting one, even the boring one like this. You get ones with worms in, sort of I don't know whether they're integrated or what, these weird worms, but I love the way they sort of contour the rock. It's really, really pretty. This one was affected last time a little bit. You can just see where there's a bit of white there, and I'm wondering whether again that's happened again this morning. It's only a tiny bit though. And everything else, my zoas have improved. I got an ICP test back at the beginning of the week, and my heavy metals, my tin in particular, has come down. It's now, I think it's 4 times greater than it should be, and I calculated it was 70 times greater, so it's definitely come down, and it's sort of borderline where it should be. But I can still tell, you know, like some zoas like these guys in the morning are okay. What it is, when what I think happens is when you get this toxicity is you get the corals, some of the corals seem to get very light sensitive. So in the first thing in the morning, the light's not very bright and they can sort of handle it, and then as the day goes by you get this sort of, God, these fish are in the way all the time. They start scrunching up. You can see how, although this coral is actually coming back now, I can tell it's getting better. But you can see how it's not so obvious now, but the sides, the zoas have been okay because they're sort of away from the light, but on the top part they were sort of suffering. So it was only the sides where the polyps were okay. And on the top you can sort of see just in the middle there how they're still retracted. You can't really see, but hey ho. So I'm just making some water now. I'm going to do a 5% water change in a bit. Snails are good. All my snails are really good and have been for quite a while. I'm really chuffed. I love my snails, absolutely love my snails. And my algae blenny is cool. Yeah, So I'll do a 5% water change. So I'm getting some nice leading edge, like white leading edge there. The tin is definitely coming down. But the temptation then is for me to up my dosing of Seachem Reef Plus and the Salifert Trace Hard. But yeah, the temptation is to do that. But then I'm introducing tin, and then it pushes it just slightly over the edge, and I can tell. Another reason to get this Spungoders Montipora is they're great for fragging, and I've sold a few frags to pay for the hobby, which is really good. So I recommend people to do that, no matter who you are, just do it. And I've actually been honest, I'm very honest on the when I'm selling it. I put exactly what pests I've got, for example Aptasia, Bryopsis, bubble algae. I put it down there, say this is what I've got. So if you don't want it, then don't buy it. You know, there's a low risk of getting things like well, a lower risk, you know, as long as you scrub the frag plug. This is growing crazily at the moment, really crazy. So much so I need to move that Zoa really. So there you go. You can see what a Stylophora looks like when it's about to strip, and I'm pretty sure if I woke up tomorrow morning it would be stripping. So I've chucked in a bag of charcoal as well. A huge bag of charcoal to absorb any toxins if it is GSP toxins that has caused the problem. Let's have a look. Let's turn these blinking things off. These all these things off. Let's have a look. There we go. Yeah, you can see my Bryopsis is starting to get a bit cheeky now, actually. Yeah, let's go to this Stylophora. Don't know whether you can see this. You can sort of see the skin, can't you? Don't know whether you can see that. This is doing really nicely. This Digi. If I can get rid of the bloody reflection. Not very easily. And the Monty, you can see how the Monty is getting stung by the the green star polyps there. So I don't know what I'm going to do. It'll be interesting because next time I will literally just scrape the green star polyps, and if the Stylophora does exactly the same, then I know for a fact that that's what it is. The thing is, it might not happen to you because, say, if my corals are under stress anyway due to tin, and then you add more stress, then that's when things tip. But if your Stylophora is happy as Larry and not under any stress, then maybe it wouldn't happen to yours. That's the weird thing about reefing. I mean, you think you know it, but you don't, because every situation is so different, and it takes a while to actually realise that. I mean, you know, last time I said it was the polymer, the heavy metal polymer that stripped it, and it may not have been. So who knows? Yeah, every time I think something, it's wrong. Maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm glad this will come back. This is coming back slowly. The polyps are appearing. Yeah, anyway, so I'll keep you posted. Mushies, fuzzy mushrooms are looking good, nice and big. There we go. There's my, I love this guy. I'm not sure it shows very well on the, I'm not sure it can focus very well. He's good. Yeah. There's my little clown goby. Let's get this guy. Hello. Can you focus on you or not? There you go. He sometimes gets a bit of ick. Never seems to be bothered by it, but he does get it. There's a little male, always in there, and then the female is likes to be there, and then the yellow tang sort of always shoves the clownfish back in. Let's have a look at my Pride Acropora that survived all the tank crashes, and problem is I don't know where to put it, so I want to put it somewhere now. And these are looking nice, thank goodness. These I call them Keds Reds, people eaters, polyphoas. See what else. Where are we? I love these ones, but you see, I call them eyes of Ra. But by the afternoon, they start to scrunch up. So they look okay in the morning. You see, those are closed. A bit temperamental. Again, I think that's a tin issue. Okay, let's zoom back out before you get sick. Okay, so hopefully I'll have some good news next time. Laters.